A startup raises $2 million. Headlines, congratulations, LinkedIn posts. 18 months later, it's gone. No warning, no real explanation, just gone. This isn't one story. This is the story. According to reports from Startup Graveyard Africa, dozens of African startups have shut down in the past 3 years alone. Some raised millions, some had real users, some had press coverage that made them look unstoppable. And almost none of them saw it coming. In this video, we are going to look at what actually kills African startups, not the polite reasons founders gave in their goodbye posts, but the real patterns underneath. Let's start with the scale of the problem. Current data suggests between 80 and 90% of small businesses in Africa fail within their first 5 years. Many don't even make it past the first 12 months. That's not a Nigeria problem. That's not a Kenya problem. It is continent-wide. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to funding reports, African startup investment fell from $4.6 billion in 2022 down to $2.9 billion in 2023, a 37% drop. Then it fell again to roughly $2.2 billion in 2024. That 2-year stretch became known across the ecosystem as the funding winter. Then in 2025, recovery. Reports show total investment climbed back up, with some trackers putting the number as high as $3 billion for the year. Sounds like good news, right? Now here's the part most headlines leave out. According to industry reports, the earlier stage funding, the money that turns an idea into an actual company, barely moved. Pre-seed funding stayed under 2% of total investment in 2025. And of the startups that did raise initial seed funding back in 2022, dozens still had not made it to their next funding round years later. The headline number recovered, the actual pipeline of startups making it from one stage to the next did not recover. So what actually kills these companies? Now let's look at some real life cases. According to reports, a Nigerian fintech company called The Peer raised over $2 million to help businesses integrate digital wallets. In 2024, the company announced it was placed in maintenance mode, citing compliance issues after acquiring multiple operational licenses. But the story did not end there. According to a public statement later made by one of the company's co-founders, the shutdown allegedly involved financial discrepancies, including spending that did not match the company's actual revenue. These remain allegations made by the co-founder himself, but they paint a picture worth understanding. Sometimes a startup doesn't fail because the idea was bad. It fails because the money was not managed the way it should have been. Another example, a Nigerian logistics and trade finance company called MVX. According to reports, the company raised over $1 million but shut down after currency volatility, inflation, and shifting government policy made the business unprofitable. This wasn't about fraud or mismanagement. It was about building a business on assumptions that the economic ground beneath it would stay stable. It did not. One more example, a Nigerian HR and payroll technology called Bento Africa. According to reports, the company temporarily shut down operations in early 2025 amid allegations of a tax and pension remittance scam, which led to investigations by relevant authorities. These remain allegations, and the situation was reportedly still developing. What's worth noting here isn't the specific allegations, it's how fragile trust is in financial services. One allegation, even unproven, can freeze an entire company's operation overnight. Across all of these stories, and dozens more like them, a few patterns repeat constantly. 1. Running out of money before finding a sustainable business model. According to industry reports, financial difficulty remains the single most cited reason for African startup failures. 2. Regulatory unpredictability. Sudden policy changes, new levies, shifting compliance requirements that founder couldn't have planned around. 3. Governance failures, weak boards, unclear decision making, founders with too much unchecked control. 4. Infrastructure costs eating margins. Power outages alone can cost Nigerian businesses significantly in generator fuel just to stay operational. None of this means starting a business in Africa is hopeless. It means the businesses that survive are usually the ones that planned for instability instead of assuming stability. The founders who build slower, keep their burn rates low, and stay close to their actual revenue, not their funding headlines, are the ones still standing 3 years later. So now you understand why startups fail. But understanding failure is not the same as understanding what it actually costs the people who lived through it. Next video, we are looking at the other side of the African dream, the real financial cost of leaving the continent entirely. What Jackpot actually costs you in money you do not get back. The African Audit. Stay locked in.